Namaskar, Shubha Devi Paksh. Today at Bridging Culture and Arts Foundation, B-CAF, we invite you, we welcome you to the session where we are going to talk with the city's very well known and loved RJ, Roy. Roy had been witnessing Durga Puja as an RJ. He had been covering it, he had been going to different parts of the city and experiencing different ways that people celebrate this puja and the whole excitement around it. So, when at BCAF we are trying to show you how Durga Puja is celebrated across from different perspectives and how it started from heritage to contemporary, it is very important that we hear from our favorite RJ how he has witnessed people's behavior, people's excitement, they talk to the RJs, they share with them, and the whole celebration around it. So, we hope that you enjoy today's session and take back home some more happiness. Enjoy the puja.
Reena, okay, by profession, I'm an MC. My job is to host events. So whatever is happening during Durga Puja, I at times play the role of a host. So therefore, my professional association during Durga Puja, apart from that being I'm a Bengali, it's obviously is that I need to host shows which are for different Durga Puja associations, different para, pandals, or maybe for different organizations, or maybe for event management companies. So that over the last almost 20 years has been my professional connection or association during Durga Puja. Radio, I wouldn't say, looks very different from the other days because the usual business that we call, it's always obviously there. For Mahalaya, the preparation is a little bit different. We obviously have a recorded version unless we want to do something really very special. Like for my radio station, we did something special on one of those years, sometime I think that was in 2017 or 18, we did a different version of the Mahisasur Mardini which we are used to listen to on Akashvani. So that was something special. Apart from that, I won't say things are very different. We usually play the recorded version which we get generally at the music stores, and we have a recorded version of that. There are stations or entities which would love to play them from maybe social media or the internet. So yes, we have a recorded version which we play on the day of Mahalaya. Since it's so early in the morning, 4 a.m. and things are ideally pre-scheduled on radio, so we schedule the show much before, and so therefore there's hardly any business on the morning of Mahalaya, apart from the fact when I was hosting my morning shows in the morning, early in the morning, I generally used to log in by around 6:30. And it was almost the time when Mahalaya or the Mahisasura Mardini was getting over. That's the only thing I would say, the change that comes on radio on the day of Mahalaya. So the soundscape of the city, not only in terms of mantra or dhak or other things, it changes all of a sudden. There's a whole lot of business on the streets. People are thronging the streets, they want to buy new things, new clothes, new other things as well. The buses, the autos, the taxis and other things. There's a mayhem, to be very precise. There's almost a mayhem as we see people on the streets, mostly during the weekends, because the more the puja comes forward, the more people start walking on the streets, start coming down on the streets because they feel it is their time. It's almost like a month or so before Durga Puja starts happening, in fact. And puja somehow is getting preponed, if I am to put it like that. So in our younger days, I would say about 10 or 15 years ago, puja used to start from Shashti, the 6th day, in that way. Nowadays, it's starting from Mahalaya itself, or maybe the first day, Pratipad, or maybe at times before that as well. So the feeling that it's a festival, it's getting bigger in terms of the number of days of celebration, the grandeur, the overall color, sound, etc. And the sound specifically, as I said, it's a cacophony, I would say, of many things. Obviously, mantra, dhak and other things are there. The din and bustle of the city that gets louder, the more puja comes forward. So there's a cacophony, but then again, that's very sweet, I would say, because you start feeling the pulse of the city slowly moving towards a proper proper finishing point which they wish not to get finished, but then again it has to finish on one fine day, and that's Doshami. Now, being a radio jockey, radio, since it is heard only, not to be seen, I would talk about my audio experiences, and that's phenomenal at times. As I was talking about the soundscape of the city getting manifold, and the cacophony that adds to the pulse of the city, that actually starts growing, that gets better and bigger. So the sights and sounds, or the experiences of being a radio jockey, doesn't much change, I would say, from the entire year-long experience. Apart from the fact, if I'm looking at it as a video jockey, then obviously it's a change, because I see things becoming more colorful, more vibrant, more people on the streets, more cacophony that can be seen as well, apart from being heard. So these are the features which gets added to the lifestyle of the city, to the pulse of the city, to the vibrations of the city, and that is something that can be matched at the international level with maybe the Carnival of Rio de Janeiro, or maybe some other carnivals across the world. But this, at times, it seems unparalleled, because nowhere in the world can you see so many people from so many different cultures, so many different maybe religions as well, thronging the streets, moving towards a single direction, taking a look at a pandal, hopping there, standing there, moving on to the next destination. So it's hopping from one part of the city to another part of the city for 5-10 days. It's a long carnival, and it's getting bigger every single year. So yes, not only as a radio jockey, I would say, rather as a visual artist or maybe a video jockey, the entire scenario, the visual landscape, the canvas, it changes totally. That's sheer level of excitement. People not sleeping during the puja, during those 5-7 days. They throng the streets, they pandal hop, they go to different pandals, they go and see the idols, they see the decoration, the celebration, the lights and everything, and they like mix in a way that people cannot be separated. Who's who, which religion, which culture, which strata of the economics of the society, nothing can be separated. So there's a I would say it's a cauldron of human emotions coming together, getting mixed and being served as an excitement, as the pulse of the city grows and grows. So yes, the entire city stays awake all the night. They hardly sleep in the night. Most of them, they sleep during the entire day, and they somehow save the energy so that they can encash that when they are walking the streets. They are going from one pandal to another pandal. So yes, whatever happens, whatever cacophony, whatever mayhem, whatever excitement we see during Durga Puja is something which we do not see the entire year, because entire year we are busy the entire day. We hardly see people on the streets during night, the whole night. There's a term called whole night pandal hopping, and that is something the Bengalis go by. And if you are not doing it, you are maybe not a Bengali, or maybe not there during the city, during the puja. So you're missing something if you're not pandal hopping the entire night. I think sometime during late 70s or early 80s, the concept of theme pujas started coming in. So theme pujas were more of like celebration of art and culture and the overall creativity that Kolkata or Bengalis are known for. And there are many other cultures which are known for this, but Bengalis specifically, they were known for culture, art, etc. across India. And this one started coming in as theme puja. So every para, every locality would have a theme puja of their own. The themes would be different, could be national, international, local, related to a social event, or could be something which is not even there, imaginary. And the way they used to decorate, the artists who used to put in months of efforts and whatnot, maybe a huge amount of money, a budget that would go into decorating a pandal, and that actually would start getting prizes as well. So sponsors would start coming in, giving them prizes. So this became more of a celebration and also a profession, I would say, for many people, for artisans, for artists. because for them this is that time of the year when they can do something, create something which they love to do, because being artists, that's their calling, that's their canvas. And if they get a canvas like that which is so big, they can decorate at their will, and that obviously brings out the creativity, the artistic nature of Bengalis that we have seen for many years. So yes, the landscape of the city, the colorscape of the city, it changes because of these theme pujas, and that is one very positive change I would say, which actually has in a way changed the economic economic involvement of the city as well, because more artisans getting involvement, more money coming into the business, and therefore more money were being paid to the artisans, to the artists, and that actually was helping them as well. So the artists were getting something out of Durga Puja, creative satisfaction as well as monetary satisfaction, and that I think changed the landscape of Kolkata. And actually maybe because of that today UNESCO has identified Durga Puja in West Bengal to be a heritage one, something which has to be saved, nourished, cherished culture, and that is a magnificent thing. Yeah, so generations obviously they respond differently. The reason being, generations as they were born in different years, while they were growing, the way things were changing around them, the way the world was changing around them, the cultural differences, the revolutions, the evolutions, etc., which were happening culturally, they changed the mindset of the generation, each and every generation. So therefore, when the generation was actually taking care of decorating the pandals or doing or celebrating the puja, a reflection of their mindset got into the themes, got into the way of celebration, the style, design, etc., and the execution. So every generation, baby boomers to generation X, Y, Z, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, whatever be it, they actually put in their mindset into the celebration, and that's the reason maybe every single decade or maybe every single 3 or 4 or 5 years we see a change in the thematic decoration, the output, the ideation, the color, sound, etc. And that is a very positive thing. It actually is a reflection of the mindset, it actually is a reflection of the journey of Bengalis, the way they are moving forward, the way they are thinking, the way their intelligence, their cultural tastes, etc. are developing. So yes, every generation has its own mindset, has its own ideation, and the way forward seems far more interesting with the advancement of maybe 3D technology and many other technological advancements. Things might be brighter. I spent 8.5 years of my initial life in Delhi, my childhood, from birth till about 8.5 years. And that time of my life, the Durga Pujas that I witnessed are very special to me. Because as they say, childhood memories are very special. They are always there, fresh. So I used to stay in Chittaranjan Park. That's the Bengali para of Delhi, New Delhi. So being in the Bengali para of New Delhi, Durga Puja was very different. It was calm, it was sober. I'm talking about 1980 to 1988 in Delhi. So the 80s in Delhi were much calmer, sober, etc. So the puja was different, no doubt. But then again, the memories are very fresh, and the prasad, there was a unique kind of a prasad. We call this bode, and that had, we generally in Kolkata see yellow ones being served. We hardly see red ones being there, we hardly see them, but Delhi was known for that, a mixture of yellow and red. Most importantly, they were dry, not very sweety or sugary that we have here in Kolkata. It was more of a dry one. So the dry taste of that bode as prasad was so very tasty. Maybe it's all the same everywhere in Kolkata or in Delhi. But that's one specific childhood memory which is still there. I can maybe talk about that, or maybe a few other things when I talk about Durga Puja childhood memories or Durga Puja memories. If we talk about campaigns through radio, I'm a little bit pessimistic in that sense, because today in 2022 and way forward, people are not listening to radio the way they used to listen even 2 or 3 years back, because radio, the way we used to know that FM or otherwise, isn't available in our hands these days. Not in our cell phones, not back at home. When we travel, it's there in our cars, but hardly anywhere. We are so much hooked onto social media, different platforms, etc., music platforms or social media platforms, that if we want to listen to music or to listen to content, maybe we generally log into either, I wish not to name them, but then again, any of the social media channels, or maybe a social media page or something. So the power of radio, as I feel, is getting weaker every week, every year, every month, etc. So even then, the power of radio is still there, and if we have to use the power of radio, then we obviously should be using that to make people aware of the facts, the way we are polluting the environment, or rather we pollute the environment during puja. People walking the streets, they throw garbages, dump garbages, throw plastic packets, etc., leftover food items, or whatever they wish not to carry forward, they just dump it on the streets. And the streets are filthy. They get filthier as the days progress during Durga Puja, and that is a very, very sad scene as we see on the streets of Kolkata. So in effect, the entire environment is getting polluted, and radio, or maybe other social media platforms or other mediums of public communication that can be used to make people aware of these things that are happening, which are not at all positive. These are very, very negative. They're affecting the environment. And if we can use radio the way we used to use radio a couple of years back, it should be used to make people aware of the environmental changes that we are making even in those 5, 7, 10 days. So yes, if the power of radio is still there, it can be used this way, or else we can switch to the now popular mediums of public communication, social media and other things.